Hello there, dear ones. Thank you so much for joining me again. I have spent the last, rather chilly, week poring through some new volumes in the library, Between the Universes. I found this week's poem in, of all places, a volume on maritime hauntings. It concerns an old man who lives on the cliffs above a seaside town, and how he once made friends with a vampire. It's still pretty cold for the time of year, so get out your oversized jumpers and fluffy blankets, brew your tea and hot chocolate, and snuggle down to learn the story of the vampire and the fisherman. The Vampire and the Fisherman. There is a fisherman dwelt on the cliffs above the bay. When he was young, he worked the sea from dawn to close of day, when he'd fly from the teeth of dark to his home in the town, where his wife and daughters waited to make smiles from his frown. So life was good until he was called to crew a boat at night. He kissed his loves and said he'd see them all by dawn's bright light. But while he worked, the ocean quaked and raised a tidal wave, so massive it engulfed the town. Barely 12 folk were saved. Alas for the fisherman, Tom, all of his loves were slain. Tom fell upon the beach and howled his horror and his pain. The townsfolk were buried beneath a hill above the town. Their graves were set where their spirits could on the coast look down. Tom carved a verse upon the headstone of his wife and girls, saying that he would wait for them till the end of the world. Afterwards, broken-hearted Tom simply was not the same. When people smiled and greeted him, he ignored his own name. After the waters had receded, men rebuilt the town. But poor Tom could not bear to live where his babies had drowned. So, Tom built himself a small hut upon the headland there. To the waves, in the dark of night, he screamed angry despair. At first, he worked in carpentry. Again, life was not kind. Soon, Tom grew much too weak to work. Soon after, he went blind. So they lived there, Tom and his dog, with no friends but the sea, the ghostly gulls, and their campfire to keep them company. People from town would bring Tom gifts to keep him and dog fed. They left them on the low doorstep if Tom had gone to bed. For 30 years, Dog and her pups had been his only friends. But just over a year ago, his solitude did end. Upon a bitter winter night, soft footsteps approached him, and a small voice, as of a child, asked to sit down with him. Tom, still a gentle soul, bid her welcome to his fireside. He thought her a traveler child, who had been left to bide by accident, when her people had moved once again. Such had happened before, and soon their folks returned for them. Tom figured he'd keep the girl warm, and see she meant no harm. Besides, company and a cheerful voice held a great charm. Tom asked the child if she wished for food, drink, or anything. The child refused, but asked to just hear the fire crackling. Dog the fifth growled at her a bit, but she soon settled down, and Tom lifted the flute he'd carved. Soon, music swelled around the seated pair. Old Tom played a sweet, simple lullaby, so soft and pure that to hear it was to wake, smile, and cry. The child laughed when he was done and clapped her little hands. She cried for more, and Tom, smiling, accepted her demands. When Tom tired of playing the flute, he told old stories, myths, legends, tales of fair gods, and strange sights on the seas. They talked from the dark midnight hour until the break of day. Then, just before the sun came up, the child vanished away. From that time on, The little girl returned every night to talk and laugh with lonely Tom by the fire's bright light. Many times, Tom asked her just what was happening to her. Had she been hurt? Had she got lost? Did her parents miss her? She didn't answer, and he gave up. She was well and strong. She'd held his hand. Her flesh was warm. Nothing much could be wrong. The only strange thing about her was the child's odd demand. Before she left at the break of dawn, she would kiss Tom's hand. His left hand, in fact, where he still wore his gold wedding ring. And every time that she did so, Tom felt a little sting. At first, it didn't trouble him, but before long his mind began to tug the mystery. The girl was strange, though kind. No, not even kind. Over time, coldness possessed the girl. Tom was loath to return to long nights in a lonely world. But he was almost certain now there was a danger there. He wasn't concerned for himself. He'd lived with his despair for so long that he barely cared. Tom would have been content if he'd been hurt, but if those below suffered, he'd lament. Tonight, he intends to ask who and what the girl can be, who travels alone in the night and talks so wise and free. When she arrives, Tom asks the girl, "Dear child, what are you? You sat here through long snowy nights, not shivering, not blue." He expects her to dissemble, excuse herself, or lie. Either that or try to distract him with a hue and cry. Instead, she says simply, "Once I was caught in a foul flood. I was found by a vicious thing that robbed me of my blood. He left me for dead, but I became what no Christian should. The first time I came, I meant to kill you for my food, to drink your blood and leave your body on the cliffs alone, to lie until you were found, or the wind turned you to stone. But then you smiled and spoke me fair, and sang so prettily. I could not bear to see you die for a creature like me. Indeed, that is why I've returned to you night after night. It has been long since a mortal found honor in my sight." "So, you were lonely?" Tom asks her. "Lonely, tired, alone." The child said, "I've walked the world for centuries alone. It has long been time for my death. I've tried to do what's right, to render myself to the dawn. Each time I quail in fright. I've sat here meaning soon to die, knowing you would not mourn. But I've lost my nerve every time, and fled before the dawn." "I'm sorry," the vampire girl said, "but now I have told you the truth of my nature and need. I will have to kill you. I'll leave your body by the fire, so that the folk from town will find you when they check on you, and think time laid you down." Tom doesn't tremble, doesn't beg. He's cheerful when he says, "There is no fear in what you say. I've lived too many days, but let my dog go. She's innocent. Then I swear to go, without complaint, hoping I will soon kneel in heaven's glow." "But what of you?" Tom asks. "You died so young, must be lonely. Can I help you before I go where my loves await me?" "No one can help who can't strengthen my will to face the morn. That's all I want, for one more time, to witness radiant dawn." "Well," Tom says, "if you're in no rush, give me some time to do work in my mind. Perhaps I'll think of some way to help you." "Are you serious?" the girl asks. "I am," old Tom replies. "I would not abandon you to live with tears in your eyes." "Think then," the vampire child instructs. "I'll warm my hands a while." Tom nods, then closes his blind eyes. How can I free the child? He asks himself. Minutes tick by. The moon crests in the sky. Have you thoughts? The vampire child asks. For soon you, Tom, must die. Tom asks the girl, what is it scares you so much in the dawn? Is it only the scalding fire that comes with break of morn? Or is it something else that makes your vampire blood chill? Why? The question may show our answer. Tell me, if you will. Okay, she says. It's not just the heat that melts flesh and bone. It is the thought, the knowledge that I'll be dying alone. When the flood nearly took my life, I did not pray for me. I only prayed to see once more my beloved family. I think I can endure the pain if it sets us both free. But I don't want to face death without someone holding me. Then don't be alone, old Tom said. Share your last breaths with me. I'll hold you. When the sky glows, feed to ease your agony. Let my blood armor your intent. Stay wound up in my arms. And imagine I'm your good knight, protecting you from harm. I swear, I'll fold you in my arms till the flames fade away. In one bright burst, we'll be released to a new shining day. But why? The vampire girl sounds mad. Why are you not afraid? It won't be a quick death. I'd be kinder with teeth or blade to dispatch you. You will suffer. You have earned no such pain. Why would you render up your life to set me free again? Once Tom said, I had 2 daughters and a wife who loved me. I did my best to protect them, but then the rushing sea took them away. If one of my girls had been lost like you, in pain, alone, seeking release, I would anything do to see her hurt come to an end. You may not be my child. You may even be a monster who roves through the night wild. But if it is my time to die, then I'll at least help you. Gladly. Don't think that I resent it. I will forgive you. As for the pain, can you hypnotize men, little lady? The vampire answers, yes. Well, then chase the pain from me. Instruct me not to feel the hurt, but only hold you tight. We two will pass the worst together. It will be all right. So, Tom and the girl face the dawn. He cuddles the vampire and holds her, praying for her soul, until an angel choir welcomes him to the glowing realm where his loves wait for him. They tease him about the fang marks where the vampire bit him. On the hill, the townsfolk find just a burned patch on the ground, and Dog the Fifth, with drooping head, crying and wandering round. They set a cross on the hill, with Tom's name carved upon it, and people come from time to time to lay flowers on it. But in heaven, Tom begs God to forgive the vampire. She, at last, is admitted and welcomed into his family. Tom, his wife, children, and the vampire are lonely no more. Return to all he wants and loves. Tom's happy evermore. Subscribe to become a delicious darling. What is it with bittersweet endings? They seem to be flocking towards me at the moment. Still, I'm delighted Tom is safe and back with his family. I have been sharing a lot of vampire poems with you recently. There has been no particular design to it. I just keep finding vampire poems I think you might enjoy. Next week's poem, however, is something a little different. I feel a little wicked today, so I will leave you in suspense until then. As always, at this point, I would appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. If you do so, you will support the channel and become an official delicious darling and part of our happy and unique little family. Okay, I am off for a short night hike in the hills. I asked a panth if he wanted to join me, but he decided instead to take up the whole sofa and sleep all night. Okay, dear ones, have a lovely night. Beware of walking on lonely cliff sides in the dark. And sleep well, my delicious darlings.